On the news tonight, contractors in the state tasked to speed up work in view of imminent rains. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, decries high rate of drug abuse. The Nigerian Police Force announces graduation of 10,000 newly trained constables. And abroad, President Donald Trump calls on Russian president to negotiate peace deal in Ukraine. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Delta Television News at 8. I am Blessing Osiagwada. Contractors handling road projects in the state have been charged to increase their pace of work, especially in view of the imminent rains. The State Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Anyago, gave the charge while inspecting work on the storm water project at Osubi, Okpe local government area. Ejime Udweme reports.
Mr. Anyago, who was accompanied on the inspection by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Sir Festus Ahon, said he was impressed with the pace and quality of work done on the project, adding that a similar project was ongoing at the Ogbogonogo market area in Asaba, among other legacy projects being executed in the 25 local government areas of the state. The commissioner was also in Sapele to inspect multiple road projects, including the fade portions of the Okrigwe Amukwe Road, the Share Road Extension, and the Hausa Road Extension. He stressed that no contractor was being starved of funds as a deliberate effort to spur them all to execute quality jobs and in good time, which he said the state governor was desirous of achieving, in line with his more agenda.
What we owe them is to be able to pay them for the jobs they are doing, and what they owe us is to be able to deliver according to specification and also on schedule.
Mr. Anyago commended property owners on the right of way for cooperating with the government to ensure the success of the projects. Some residents of the affected areas thanked Governor Sheriff Oborewori for connecting their communities with roads and bridges, especially in deflooding their areas through the construction of underground drainages. Ejime Uduime reporting.
The state governor, the Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, has congratulated the management of This Day newspapers on the 30th anniversary of the media organization. Governor Oborewori, in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Ahon in Asaba, said the newspaper, which has Prince Nduka Obagbena as publisher, has continued to greatly impact the media industry positively with its robust reportage. He said the well-known publication, debuted on the newsstands on January 22, 1995, had built a reputation in the newspaper world, winning Newspaper of the Year 3 times in a row and becoming the first in Nigeria to run in full color in 1997. The governor said Delta, as the home state of Prince Obagbena, took great pride in the newspaper's remarkable achievement and its contributions to the journalistic profession, wishing the publication greater accomplishment in the future. The Permanent Secretary in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Marcus Ogumbi, has said the ministry was set to embark on Operation Empty the Stores to empower farmers with modern agricultural inputs and equipment with a view to boosting agriculture and food security. Mr. Ogumbi stated this at a one-day workshop which held in Abuja with the theme Building Partnership with collaboration between the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and the media. He noted that the importance of agriculture to the economy could not be overemphasized, especially with the global economic challenges, noting the need for diversification of the Nigerian economy. Mr. Ogumbi channeled the power towards sensitizing Nigerians to take agriculture and rural development. Mr. Joel Ruche chains in provision of affordable farm inputs to smallholder farmers and measures to mitigate the effect of climate, among others. Has called for strict adherence to the timetable for the Anambra State governorship. Also touched on the Federal Capital Territory Council election, which would be the designated polling units across 68 constituencies to elect the 6 council chairmen, 62 councillors. The INEC chairman urged political parties to adhere to timelines for primaries and campaign schedules to ensure a smooth process of the exercise. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has disclosed that about 14.3 million Nigerians are victims of drug abuse. Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, made the disclosure at the inaugural ceremony of the agency's youth program tagged Catch Them Young, held at the government secondary school in Rumokota, Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Professor Adeyeye said research findings had shown that 1 out of every 4 high-risk drug users had been arrested for drug-related offenses, including that the arrests included 73% for drug possession, 12% for theft, 5% for sex work, 4% for burglary, and 2% for shoplifting. She highlighted the negative effect of drug abuse on families, society, and the nation's socio-economic development, adding that the situation had caused NAFDAC to initiate a comprehensive, coordinated, and intensive program designed to reduce the prevalence of drug abuse among secondary school students. The NAFDAC DG explained that drug addiction could arise from both illicit drugs and legal drugs prescribed as medicine by medical personnel. About 24 residents of Bida, the headquarters of Bida local government area in Niger State, have been hospitalized following the outbreak of an unknown illness in the town. 20 of the affected individuals had been discharged after over a week of treatment at the Federal Medical Center and the Umaru Sanda Ndayako General Hospital, Bida. The illness, characterized by sudden collapse and loss of communication abilities, have left many in the community on edge. Speaking on the development, the Niger State Commissioner for Secondary and Tertiary Health, Dr. Bello Tuko, attributed the cases to untreated severe typhoid and malaria. He said a state rapid response team had conducted an investigation into the phenomenon, and blood samples from the affected individuals had revealed that the illness was linked to poorly treated malaria and typhoid fever. The Health Commissioner clarified that no deaths were recorded and that all patients received treatment locally. He stated that the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, had been notified and that further laboratory investigations were underway, even as active case searches had been conducted in health facilities and the community to manage the situation, with local authorities working to prevent further outbreaks. The Nigerian Police Force has announced the graduation of 10,000 newly trained constables from various police training institutions across the country. The force spokesperson, Mr. Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who made the announcement in a statement, said the milestone event was a testament to the ongoing commitment of the force to enhance its personnel strength and capacity, while ensuring the delivery of effective policing services to the Nigerian people. The statement said the passing out parade ceremony would be held at 4 different police colleges and 12 training schools, to be presided over by the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetukon, as the reviewing officer, to effectively address the complex security challenges facing the nation, adhering to the principles of the law, after which they will be deployed to various state commands, contributing to local policing efforts and community safety measures. The state monthly environmental sanitation exercise would hold across the state on Saturday between the hours of 7 and 10 in the morning. As stated by the Director of Public Communication and Functioning Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Theresa Oliko, says there will be restriction of vehicle and human movement during the exercise. The statement said the Commissioner for Environment and top officials of the ministry and other relevant authorities will monitor the exercise across the state, while officials of the State Waste Management Board and local government officials will evacuate the resultant refuse to approved dump site. It warned that persons loitering or found not taking part in the exercise will be brought before the mobile. Trump warns Russia against harsher economic sanctions. Details of this story and many more will come after this short break. Please stay tuned.
Right? But with the new Airtel Smart Router, you can now watch YouTube on any TV and also get unlimited data for 30 days to stream thrilling Nollywood movies, catch up on football highlights, and keep your kids engaged with edutainment all on YouTube. With the Airtel Smart Router, everyone gets what they love. Get the Smart Router plus unlimited data for 25,000 Naira. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get yours. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Delta Television News at 8. From the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has called on Russian President Vladimir Putin to negotiate an immediate peace deal with Ukraine, warning of harsher economic sanctions if the conflict persisted. A statement posted on Truth Social yesterday, President Trump pressed for a quick resolution to the ongoing war, which he said would not have started during his administration. He noted his intent to fulfill his campaign promise of ending the conflict before his second term gains momentum, adding that if there was no deal between them, he would be forced to increase tariff, taxes, and sanctions on things being sold by Russia to the United States. President Trump re-emphasized that all he needed was to broker out peace and not to winch hunt Russia, explaining that he had a very good relationship with President Putin. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russia's President Vladimir Putin shook hands during a joint press conference after a meeting at the presidential palace in Helsinki. The statement comes as Trump seeks to resolve the protracted conflict, which has had significant global economic and humanitarian consequences. Under President Donald Trump, Ramaphosa stated this while interacting with newsmen on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland. The report says that South Africa currently holds the G20 presidency, after which the U.S. would take over. According to Ramaphosa, South Africa would work with the U.S. to prepare it for its G20. Now, Business News Desk for happenings in the business sector.
President of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Francis Meshuye, has said high inflation and reduced purchasing power of consumers led to over 1.4 trillion naira unsold goods by manufacturers in 2024. Mr. Meshuye disclosed this yesterday in Lagos at the 2025 Presidential Media Luncheon organized by the association. He stated in 2024, Nigeria's manufacturing sector encountered a myriad of macroeconomic and infrastructural challenges that severely impacted its performance. The sector faced mounting pressure from high inflation, a depreciating naira, rising interest rates, escalating electricity tariffs, record low sales, multiplicity of taxes and levies, and militating security concerns. The factors collectively strain the sector's profitability and curtail its contribution to national gross domestic product (GDP). The man president read out other challenges confronted by the sector in the year. The Central Bank of Nigeria has advised businesses to embrace exporting activities in a bid to harness value from the weak state of the naira. The call was made by the Deputy Governor, Economic Policy, Central Bank of Nigeria, Muhammad Abdullahi, on Tuesday during his keynote address at the 11th National Economic Outlook Implications for Businesses in Nigeria 2025, organized by the Shattered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria Center for Financial Studies in Lagos. Meanwhile, the naira ended 2024 with significant depreciation across foreign exchange markets, recording a 40.9% loss in a
Two first-half goals off the boots of fleet-footed Adam Princess was all 10 times Nigerian Women Football League winners Delta Queens needed to secure all 3 points at the Stephen Keshi International Stadium, Asaba, yesterday, when they locked horns with visiting Benue Queens of Makurdi. Speaking after the match, the chairman of the Delta State Sports Commission, Mr. Onorode Oborewere, lauded the team for a superlative performance, saying the girls performed beyond expectations, especially as they were still a work in progress, having been together for less than a month before the commencement of the new season. He, however, enjoined them to strive to convert any chances created in the subsequent matches, beginning with their away match to Adamawa Queens. The chairman of the House of Assembly Committee on Sport, Honorable Emmanuel Sinebe, among others who spoke on the match, commended the Moore girls for ensuring that they picked all 3 points, saying it was clear that the girls were keen on bringing smile to the face of Governor Sheriff Oborewere, who had continued to invest in the sports sector. The coach of the Delta Queens, Peter Dedebo, lauded his team for winning the game, however regretting the several missed chances, saying he would try to correct the seeming errors in the next match away to Adamawa Queens. Coach Laidi Bashiru of the Benue Queens, for his part, regretted the chances created by his team and described the Delta Queens as a team for the future. That's our news. Now our thought for the day. A true sign of intelligence is understanding that other people may have opinions that differ from yours and do not attack or debate them over it. Contractors handling road projects in the state have been charged to increase their pace of work, especially in view of the imminent rains. The State Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Onyago, gave the charge while inspecting work on the stormwater project at Osubi, Okpe local government area. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control now